Okay, I'm going to take one last video for today, and that is going to be the 2 hollies that I had delivered. Putting them into pots, putting them into pond baskets at least. You can see the rain that we've had. This soil is absolutely waterlogged, and might not necessarily be a bad thing for hollies, I don't know, but I'm just going to get it into more of a freestanding mix. So we'll start with the more prickly of the 2, Golden King Holly. I'm going to start just by removing the stick that is attached to. I don't know if holly's good for bonsai, but I'm going to try and find out. Let me see if I can get you in nice and close. That's not bad actually. So you can see the soil from the rain, absolutely waterlogged. Let's have a look what we've got. I'm not going to take too much of this off actually. If it's happy growing in this, which it appears to be, then there's no reason for me to get rid of it all. What I want to do though is just open the roots out a little bit. Just so they're not growing or continue to growing in the tight circular fashion that they have been. Very, very fine roots. There's a big one. But I'm not going to do much more than this actually. Don't want to find myself tempted and then all of a sudden it's completely bare rooted. I think I'm reasonably happy with that. I'm just going to check this big root out. Okay, there's a couple of big roots. Actually, I'm not going to check them out. I know what will happen. And then all of a sudden, it'll be completely bare rooted. Right, let me get some bonsai soil. So what I've got, you can't see it in camera, I don't think. Just a standard Kaizen bonsai number 2 in a pond basket. Great drainage, great aeration. You can pick these up incredibly cheap. So I'm going to throw some soil in there. Should be enough. Perfect. So fill this bad boy up. And just make sure even though I've not done much to the roots, I still want to try and merge the 2 soils as much as possible. Now, when I open this, I should add before going any further, I know nothing about holly, whether it's suitable or not, but it was affordable. And when I opened it, the first thing that struck me was the first branch doesn't appear until up here. Up here, which is much too high. And not what I'm really after. So you know what's coming. Yeah. Hopefully that will encourage some sort of branching from lower down the tree. What might happen is the next lowest from the cut shoot becomes the next branch. I don't know how these develop. If that does happen, what it's going to mean is next time I chop it, it will have to be down here to develop movement from lower down, but that will be okay for number one. What I should have done is got rid of the excess water before I started this video. Right, number two. So number two is a JC Van Tol style of holly. If that means anything to you. Got a nice little slug asleep underneath that can be flung into the garden to, I'm sure, find its way back to some of my other plants, but I do not like killing anything. So let's take this pole off. There we go. So it looks like it's in the same soil as the other holly. It is very waterlogged, healthy roots. We've got another little slug of some sort living in the bottom. So, same again. Let's just take, oh wow, okay. So what they've done is they've grown this holly, in a little cell, sort of 1.5 inches in height, and then just popped that in the pot, covered it in soil to sell. So I'm just going to open these roots out again just a little bit. Again, not bare rooting it, because it might be very, very, very content in this soil. Who knows? And again, there's no giving that. I'm not going to be able to add any sort of movement into this. So, like the other one, I'm going to have to do a big chop just to see what will happen. Right, that'll do. In fact, no, it won't. The roots is very much still tightly wrapped around its trunk. And it's important we get them out, because otherwise as it grows it could constrict it slightly, like a bit of a boa constrictor. That'll do. Spend too much time on these. They're more experiments than anything else. So I did have some wire to hand as well. because I'm chopping them down, it's not been necessary to use that. Okay, the temperatures just took a turn. I can feel it just got incredibly cold. Either that or I've been out here too long, one of the two. So let's get this soil as merged as it can be with the original soil. And then, like the other one, I'm going to chop it. I'm going to chop it. There. Oh, just kick the camera. Hopefully you can still see. So there we have it. That still looks much too high. If it's going to backbud, let's get it right down. If it's not going to, it won't. So I'm going to go to there. There we go. So I'll add a bit of water to those. In fact, again, if it's going to, why leave that much on it? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So let's go further. And unfortunately on this one, I brushed a leaf off. I think that side. When I was manhandling it, however, we can still bring it back a little bit more. So that might be too drastic, but what I'm hoping now will happen on the JC Van Tol is one of these will develop into a branch. That will create a nice bit of movement, and then the tree can develop, the shrub can develop from there. And same on this one, ideally it needs to have a branch here. But I'm just mindful it's only one leaf. I don't want to cut it all the way back and kill it off. So, okay, I'm going to water them and then throw them at the top of the garden with the other plants in pond baskets on the matting, and we'll see what happens when spring hits.